Hey, fellow theme park fans, it's the Homegrown Tourist England team here, and I am with Dalton the Authenticator.
Hello, folks.
And we're going to be talking about 10 ways that you can destroy your Disney vacation. Now, we've seen this article. Once again, it is from a travel agency. Their whole deal is to make sure that they sell you vacation packages. So I'm wondering if these are real and practical, or if it's like, hey, don't forget to get this thing, disguised as some sort of article.
Yeah.
Now, I am a fan of their videos. I do like them. Occasionally I agree, occasionally I don't. But that's the way it should be, right? Nobody wants everybody to just, flat out agree with everything they say. Before we get started on their article and we talk about what they've chosen, do you have any way that you would think that somebody could just easily destroy their vacation, other than like go pick a fight with Mickey? If you go up and you punch one of the characters, obviously vacation destroyed. But I mean, like something practical, something that somebody might do by accident. Because I mean, if you take a dump in the fountain, you get arrested.
I think the easiest advice would be just don't rush and don't get sensory overload. I know there's a lot to take in, and you're gonna want to rush to see everything, especially if you have to deal with little kids pulling you in every which direction. But take charge, make them take their time, and you take your time. Because I know when I went, we tried to go through every last thing, and as a result, we missed half the stuff I probably would have enjoyed more, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think my brothers got so high on the adrenaline of it all that they didn't even take most of it in. So just don't rush and don't try to run all over creation just to take everything in.
We have a mutual friend, a comic book artist by the name of Tim Lim, and he came down, and we went to the Hollywood studios. And oh my gosh, we definitely have different approaches. He is exactly what you're talking about. Okay, we're done with that. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go. I'm very much a take in the atmosphere kind of guy. I think, they built in these little tiny things, all over the place. Just enjoy it,
It's worth getting to,
The whole thing is there's so much more than just the ride at the ride, even. Little bits and pieces, little Easter eggs around the area and everything. If you're going to Star Wars land and you just go to the rides and then leave, you're going to miss a lot. Trust me, I went when only the Millennium Falcon was open and had a blast because I took my time and talked to people and acted, did the whole storyline. And it really is that you're so right about that. It's definitely one. I mentioned this in the last video. The way you dress is going to definitely make sure that your day is either good or bad. If you're wearing tons of black in the summer sun, I knew one time I was working out at Universal, and there was a woman who wore high heels to the park, and there's cobblestone, guys. You don't want to make sure you've got the right kind of shoes, a comfortable pair of shoes. Basically, this is a place, and I'm not saying dress like a slob. It's not Walmart or anything like that, but make sure that you're dressed for comfort over style. If you can do both, God bless you for it, but you want to be comfortable before you're stylish. Also, do you have another, or shall I go again?
No, go ahead.
Okay, something you brought up. Don't fight your children. Okay? You're going to be saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here." Your children may get so much enjoyment out of the ducks. There's duck families all over the place, and they're going to take 5 minutes out to look at these ducks or a rabbit or anything. They may notice the small things that you're missing as far as what Disney has put into the park. I say this, and only one person ever took it the wrong way. I said, let the kids be the boss. Obviously you've got to plan up to a certain point. And I used to do that with my daughters as well. I would go, Ashley, you name 3 attractions you want to do. And then Elizabeth named 3 different attractions, and we're going to make sure that we get to those 6. And well, anything else is extra. And I would and that would be our day. And I would plan around that. If your children are happy, you're going to be happy. You're going to have a great time. I know this. I raised kids on Disney, and the days that they were pissy, it was just, it was not as fun. You're there. If you're bringing your family, you want your kids to be happy. And I said, let them be the boss. And somebody, well, I'm the boss. Look, I'm not talking about they freaking drive you there. Okay. They're not picking the restaurants. They're not picking, you know, just, it's okay, you know. But they will tell you what they find fun. One of my favorite trips was I gave them those, back in the day, they had those disposable cameras. And I said, take all the pictures you want. I want to see how you see Disney. Had some great pictures. One was just of an Epcot toy. It was one of those wind up things, and the ball had feet on it, and it did this little walk. She thought it was really cool. So she took, you know, it's just, it's really interesting to see how the kids see the parks versus how we do. And that's another way I would say that you could spoil your vacation if you do. If you fight your kids, the word scary to your children means different to us. When they're saying scary, they're talking about something that may be emotionally scary. We're thinking roller coasters. So they'll say something like, well, Small World isn't scary. No, to us, of course not, except for hearing the song for 15 minutes straight. Yeah,
but the animatronics might be creepy to someone who's never seen an animatronic before. This is how we get the Disney creepypastas that scar everyone for life.
There you go. I actually had a nightmare because one time I went, there's this Japanese kid that's bowing to everybody when he leaves, and the spring was broken. So when he went back, he hit his head on the wall, and it was constant. So he did it like four times. Bam, 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 bam. And then I had a nightmare about that. So you never know. You never know.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to take a look at their list. Going to see if they agree, if we agree or disagree with what they're talking about here. I'll say one more: hydrate, 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 hydrate. Drink all the water in the world, not the soda, not a lot of sugary drinks if you can help it. Like maybe when we go out, we drink a lot of water, and then when we have dinner, that's when we'll have our sodas and everything. But you want water for this.
And I guess for my last one, I'll say, don't try to cram multiple parks into a single day.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Run to multiple parks in one day.
There is a huge debate to park hop or not to park hop. To me, it's a question of quantity over quality. If you go to one park, you can enjoy everything that park has to offer, and you will get so much more out of it if you just take your time and see what Disney has to offer in each and every theme park. If you're park hopping, you're taking, even if you're driving there yourself, you're taking a good half hour to an hour out of your day just for that. Plus, if you add in your lunch or dinner, that's another half hour to maybe even 2 hours. So you could lose a lot of time with that kind of stuff. So be very careful with it. You're absolutely right about that. And I would never go 3. Never go 3, never go 4. It's that's pushing. You're dead on about that, Dalton. Good call. Good call. All right, let me share my screen, and we're going to go over what they've got to say here. I just noticed we're 9 minutes in. All righty. Not so magical ways to spoil a Disney trip. Their first one is not planning. One of the top ways to spoil a Walt Disney World vacation is by not planning. Gone are the days when guests could just show up at the Magic Kingdom, grab a map at the entrance, and head on in for the day. Now with 4 parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and so much more, trip to Disney takes some planning ahead. And on this one, the only thing I would say is you got to make sure that you have a reservation to the restaurant you want. Sometimes you can get in on a walk-in. Sometimes you can't. Depends on how busy it is. I have no doubt right now with the COVID thing going on, you can walk right on in. But if it's busy, yeah, you definitely need a reservation there. Although we realize that not everyone wants to plan their days out, it has become more and more important for guests to have basic Disney knowledge prior to arrival. Also, they do the Fast Pass thing, and that could ruin it. Fast Pass was a way to kill the big lines, but now Fast Pass has become the line. So,
and anyone who doesn't have a Fast Pass is stuck in the line to get to the line, basically.
It's well, on some of them it's ridiculous. The Snow White line was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes when it was busy. Once again, now not so much, but not too many. And planning too much in the same breath, planning too much can spoil a trip. My Disney planners love their color-coded notes and laminated lists, but if there isn't any room for magic to just show up throughout the day, it probably won't. And that's what we're talking about. That's what Dalton was talking about when he says, don't try to cram so much in. You do, take time to smell the roses.
Alrighty. Especially if it's a once in a lifetime or once in a year thing for you. If you're not like Eglantine or Pixel and you can't just go whenever you feel like it, take the time so that you can have a memory that's worth having.
Oh, speaking of, that whole video I made where we're on hold for 2.5 hours? And they said my pass was fixed. It wasn't. What's that called? Catfishing? They totally catfished me.
Yeah, that figures.
Number 3 is not being flexible. This is extremely important when in Walt Disney World. One of the ways to spoil a trip is to not be flexible. It can be hard to be flexible considering guests have often spent years or at least months thinking and dreaming and planning of the trip. If you aren't flexible when you get there, it might not be as magical as you hoped. If the kids want to watch the parade instead of rushing to ride Dumbo, allow them the opportunity. Running after Bubbles for a few minutes can be just as magical as riding rides. That's exactly what I meant when I said, let the kids tell you what they want to do. It'll be so much better. And you're going to enjoy watching them have fun. That's going to happen. And once again, what they see in the park is different than what you see in the park. Oh, and here we have the Tree of Life. It is a wonderful, fun show about bugs with Flick from the Bug's Life, but in the middle of it, you have these spiders come dangling down. You have wasps attacking you in the back. There's a lot of scary in there, and our daughter freaked when she was like, what was it, 2 years old? She just started screaming her ass. Oh my gosh.
This is how you create arachnophobe, ladies.
She loved, I took her to see Bug's Life on the premiere. And we had one of those special, the newspaper gave it, you go see the advanced showing of Bug's Life. We sat there, we watched Mighty Joe Young, which she did not get scared of. And then we watched Bug's Life after, and she was just so precious and adorable and loved Bug's Life. So when we went in there, she loved the idea of going to see Flick. Flick comes on. Oh, it's Flick. I love this. Oh, it's the best thing ever. She could not. She was climbing over me to get the hell out of there. And so, yeah, they'll tell you when they're afraid of something. And sometimes it's the most banal things. Sometimes. Not preparing for the weather. If you're here in the summertime, it rains at 3 to 5 all day. Now, I'll tell you what. Pray that it rains all day. Or it rains for 4, 5, 6 hours. Because if it only rains for 20 minutes, you're in a steam bath. But that's not what they're talking about. Even though it's Florida, it can still get cold during the winter months. Yeah, last time I think it dropped down to what, 75, 76 degrees? It got pretty cold. It really did.
75 or 76 degrees is your definition of cold.
It's freezing, dude.
On the behalf of everyone who lives north of the Mason-Dixon line,
I do remember. I do remember one time it actually dropped down to 68 degrees. We had to bring in the pets. It was horrible. Oh my goodness gracious! I don't even want to think about that anymore. No, actually, it does kind of get cold, and you're packed for Florida. But I've seen so many Northerners walk around in their little sweatshirts and shorts, and all righty. But I'll tell you something that not a lot of people think of. Extra shoes and socks. If you've got a backpack, put shoes and socks if you have them, or flip-flops or something like that, or a fresh pair of socks, put them in a baggie and carry them along. If you get on a water ride, or if it rains and because wet socks and they're bringing this up right here, getting stuck with wet shoes, socks, and clothes makes for nuts. The clothes dry off. That never bothered me too much because the heat, it's almost like instant dry. You ever see that Back to the Future 2, where it just blows and he's all automatically dry? It's kind of like that with our heat, except for the underwear. Consider grabbing some cheap rain ponchos at home before leaving. Yep. That's a really good deal as well. And they're bringing up the kids. Kids will be kids. One way to quickly spoil a trip is to make your kids adjust to new schedules, expectations while in Disney. If your kids typically sleep in, don't expect them to rise early on a vacation in order to get to the park's rope drop. Have little ones that are asleep by 7 at home. Don't try to keep them up until midnight. That's true. My parents, we went on a vacation out to the Keys, and I was 14 years old at the time, man. No freaking way. They got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Nope, didn't work. I've got pictures of me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I can imagine a 14-year-old England teen being like, what is this?
Yep.
Why?
Yep, here you go. Not setting a budget beforehand. Yeah, make sure, I agree with this. One of the things that you could do also, you have to make sure that you're not spending it all up front, because you go in, you can get excited. I would say, here's something. If you go to Avatar and they have ride-specific stuff, go on ahead. If you're at Harry Potter, go on ahead, get your stuff. But there are things that are in their main stores, or if you're at Disney World, they have at Disney Springs, if you save a day for that, or maybe even your hotels. There are things that are just universally Disney or universally Universal, which are in every little store. Ride specific stuff, okay, yeah, sure, blow your budget while you're there if it's something particular you care for, but I would definitely not just set a budget, but actually watch it while you're going, because the excitement, you can blow through it in the first day or two. There you go. All righty. And let's see, not having the right shoes. We already talked about that. And that is absolutely right. Make sure that you have Andy on the bottom of your shoes. Yeah. It makes a big difference. It really does. I wore the wrong shoes one time, and I looked like the reverse evolution of man poster, because I was like, da-da-da, beginning of the day, we're good, okay, okay, and now I'm, it was pretty bad. And let's see, not practicing with my Disney experience. All righty, you know what? Okay, I could see this. Look, you're gonna want Disney experience because it does mobile ordering. You can get your fast passes. So make sure that you are, I agree with this one. Make sure that you're knowledgeable about it. That way you can do that. You can check up on fast passes, because people cancel all the time, even for the good ones like Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan and Small World and all that kind of stuff. The ones we just can't wait to see. Yeah. So there you go. Those are, that's what they've got. Those are 10 ways or 8 ways anyway to spoil or make a Disney trip not so magical. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think they were fair in their listing, and I think we added a few that probably should have been on there.
Yeah, well, it's experience. I've been to so many. Oh, and by the way, here's another one. Someone bumps into you. Someone scuffs your shoes. Someone doesn't see you in line. Someone does anything to offend you. Walk away. You do not know these people. You're never going to be hanging out with them. Don't care what they think or say. Have a good one. Enjoy your... Because if you get into a fight, you're going to be arrested. And that will most definitely spoil your vacation. Here's another one. if you're driving to the park and you're in the left-hand lane and your turn is coming up on the right-hand lane, pass it, turn around, and then go into it. Do not try to cross 3, 4, or 5 lanes of traffic to get to your turn. I have seen that happen so many times. People get hit, people get killed. I saw a guy run to beat traffic across the street and got hit by a car.
Why?
Yeah, I witnessed that. He tried to beat traffic across the street and he ended up getting, I don't know if he got killed because, you know, we were driving I was like, wait a second, that guy, oh my God, you know, it happens. People get into all sorts of wrecks because, oh my gosh, there's our turn. Ah! Traffic laws here are the same as they are in your state. Okay. Don't do that. Don't get into fights at Walt Disney World. I've got a video on this channel about this dumb, moronic family that got into a fight at Walt Disney World. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. It's just remember the rules of civility that are at your house are the same. Okay.
In the immortal words of George Costanza, you know, we're living in a society.
There you go. It's ridiculous. Some of the things I've seen, where people just. The employees either. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yes, yeah. There you go. Don't cuss out the employees. You know that guy that's at the front of the ride that just broke down? He didn't break it. Got news for you. He ain't the one that's fixing it either. It is not his fault. I've had that one happen to me personally many, many times. I'm sorry. While I was working on the ride, I forgot. No, don't curse out the employees. They're there to help. They are. Even the guest service ones. You're mad. I understand. But they are not the ones that make the rules. They're just there to help. All righty, guys. I lectured enough. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching the video. Dalton, thank you for joining me for this discussion.
Anytime.
Let's see. If you do like the videos, please click like, share, subscribe, share. Get word out about the channel here. Also, don't forget, like I said, click like, pop up one of the videos that should be popping up around here right about now. Click on that. If you like the content, consider helping out the channel through Patreon. Links in the description below. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of our fellow theme park enthusiasts, thank you very, very much for watching, and have a zippity-doo-dah day.